Okay, so we'll get started here and go on with that. So welcome everybody. Thanks so much for attending our lunch break session on this February 23rd of 2020. We're so excited to have a couple start into the new year and continue on the last Wednesday of every month. So the lunch break sessions are normally held, like I said, on the last Wednesday of each month over Zoom from the noon hour to 1 o'clock with a presentation by an external person or one of our staff here at CTCNS. And we also typically have space for a Q&A. Sorry, I'll just let that person in. And so if you want to get on the registration list, we typically send out registration links to our membership a few times a month, or you can also reach out to one of our staff. You can use the outreach at ctcns.com email to get the registration link. That would be Brittany, or you can email myself, resource@ctcns.com, and that would be myself, Jillian. So these sessions are recorded and they're available anytime. You can find them later on if you've missed the lunch break session, or if you want to review, they can be found on YouTube at Christmas Tree Council of Nova Scotia, or that you can find them on our media site, which is media.ctcns.com in video form or in podcast form. We also post if there's any external or extra resources that our presenters provide afterwards there too. So without further ado, today's presentation is going to be on agri-tourism opportunities from Tourism Nova Scotia. And we have Melanie Lowe and Erin Hume from Tourism Nova Scotia. They're both tourism development advisors. We've been discussing with them probably since about last November about different opportunities for Christmas tree growers in Nova Scotia. They've definitely provided us with a lot of resources for them up to then, and we've been sending those out to growers. And so while they can help the producers draw in more customers through their current U-Picks or their choose and cuts, retail sites, or other amenities, there's many different opportunities and resources they can provide and packages to advance your participation in agritourism all year round on the.
All right, thanks so much. It's going to take me a second to get this into our presenter view. There we go. And we're going to kick off with my colleague, Erin. So I'm going to mute myself, turn it over to Erin to give you an idea of what we're going to be chatting about today, and we'll let her rip.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, me and Mel are working the same office, I guess, conference room here. So it's a little funny sometimes. We're used to a little cubicle with all of us there. But hi, everybody. Thank you for joining. It's exciting to be part of your webinar series. As Jillian mentioned, we have been talking since about last November. I know Melanie had reached out regarding your upcoming International Christmas Tree Conference at Oak Island, and we just thought there'd be a great opportunity to share some tourism opportunities for growers that we see in sort of our channels and the work that we do. So to start, Melanie and myself, we work with Tourism Nova Scotia, which is basically your Department of Tourism. We are part of the Department of Communities, Culture, Tourism, and Heritage. Our title, I guess, would be Tourism Nova Scotia within that department. So me and Mel, we work in experience development. So we help businesses create new hands-on activities for visitors, where they learn something by doing something with someone who lives here. We also work with package development, but Melanie and myself will share more later on. So we'll get started. We have a bit of an agenda just to keep us on track. So we'll talk about who Tourism Nova Scotia is, who our current market is, and visitor insights. We'll keep kind of light, not get too detailed. We have the details though if you want more. We'll talk about our resources and tools and how to leverage our channels. And then we'll get a little bit into what packages and experiences are and how you can create those for visitors. So to start, as I mentioned, we are now a division of the Department of Communities, Culture, Tourism, and Heritage. We have three main groups or three main sectors in our group, in our department. We have destination marketing, so that's consumer marketing as well as the travel trade. We have sector development, which is where Mel and I fall in. We have experience development as well as business development and research. So everything that we do in our work is rooted in research. So we basically work with our research team to understand why visitors are coming here, what they want when they come here, what they're looking for. And then we help we work with businesses to create that product that they're looking for. Our business development team, they work more with those new businesses. So as an example, someone might say, I want to start this tour operation. What resources do you have available? And they can help them in tapping into loan programs that might exist or other government resources. So they can get more detailed on that new business. And then once that business is in operation, they'll often connect them with us, more of the product development. And we have operations, we have stakeholder relations, communications. We have 6 provincial visitor information centers around the province that are sort of our visitor facing side of Tourism Nova Scotia. And we have our contact center they also operate year round, and they field all those calls that you get from our 800 number about travel to Nova Scotia. So to speak on some of our partners, we do have lots of tourism partners throughout the province. The regional tourism partners are a great opportunity for groups like yourselves who maybe, as an agritourism or agricultural business, maybe tourism is not your first focus. So the regional tourism partners is a great way to dial into the industry if it's new to you or if you want to expand in it, because they're already speaking the tourism language and they're already engaged in a lot of opportunities for tourism. So some of our regional tourism marketing organizations would be the Social Tourism Cooperative, Discover Halifax. There's Coastal Nova Scotia, so that's their formal name would be Deans, the Destination Eastern and Northumberland Shores. Look after Eastern Shore and Northumberland Shores. There's the Valley Regional Enterprise Network, Yarmouth and Acadian Shores Tourism Association, and Destination Cape Breton Association. So when you look at our current market, traditionally, so before COVID-19 swooped in upon us, we've always spoke to visitors outside of Nova Scotia or outside of Atlantic Canada, I should say. So our target markets have been Northeastern US, Germany, Ontario, England, and we were getting into China prior to COVID. So when we look at more of a local market, or look at more at the local promotion, that's when we would work more with our regional tourism partners that I mentioned previously. So we would speak to people or visitors outside of Atlantic Canada, and then our regional partners would speak to visitors once they're in the province. So that's often why Nova Scotians don't see our marketing materials, because we're not speaking Nova Scotians. We don't speak to them because they already know we exist. They're already very interested in the province. So we have more bang for our marketing dollar if we go outside. And also those further away visitors tend to stay longer here, and they tend to spend more money when they do come. And then our awesome tourism businesses give them a great experience, and then they'll come back, and we have a high rate of return visitors because of that. So currently, because of COVID, we did have to shift. I know a lot of businesses have had to pivot in order to stay alive during COVID with their business. So we have also shifted, and we started talking more to Nova Scotia and Maritimes. So we were doing marketing materials targeting those markets. We had released a number of programs working with businesses to create product for those markets. And as I mentioned previously, where we do have everything rooted in research, we then went out to and we researched the maritime market, what people are looking for in the Maritimes, because the travelers, someone coming from Ontario or England has a different motivator to come here than what maybe someone from PEI or New Brunswick would have. And the plan is, we are going to go back into Ontario and Quebec in later this year, or hopefully by the summer. And then later, like after the summer, potentially, we'll get more into our further away markets, but it's all as COVID allows. Thanks, Melanie. So just show you an example of what our marketing materials look like. Here is our current campaign that's running in market, Show Your Local Love. And the idea behind this campaign is to show Nova Scotians all the amazing things there is to do in their own province, to try to motivate them to get out and to visit local businesses, take part in local activities, to help sort of infuse those tourism dollars into the industry that we would otherwise be getting from further away.
All right, sorry about that.
It's okay. Yeah, so with our, so looking at our research, we have our Maritime Traveler Insights. So we know from our research that 50% travel as a couple or with children. They do travel year round, which is awesome, which is a great news for tourism businesses. So you're not so focused on just the high season. However, like a lot of other tourists or travelers, I should say, the highest visitation is still in the summer months between July and September. Like our other markets that we target, coastal activities, hiking and culinary are very popular among our visitors. And then most Nova Scotia visitors spend 1 or 2 nights in Nova Scotia, and they tend to gravitate to things that are familiar. They're interested in exploring. So I found when we did the research in the maritime market for the first time, one thing that stood out the most for me was that it's the importance to differentiate yourself. So when we've always talked to markets that were further away. So Nova Scotia was this cool little island or like an island with these great coastal experiences. When you're then talking to PEI in New Brunswick, it's making sure that, you know, they might know about Citadel Hill, but do they know about this exclusive dining experience within Citadel Hill? Or they might know about Cape Split. They know about how you can do guided kayaking to these amazing areas around Cape Split. So it was trying to communicate to businesses the opportunity to showcase what's so unique about themselves. They also, like our other visitors, they do tend to do a lot of their research online before traveling. However, because they are closer, their booking window is much shorter. So instead of having, you know, months or, you know, multiple weeks in advance, they're looking at what should I do this weekend or what should I do next week. So it's just so that can be a little bit challenging when you're as a business when you're looking to see how popular things are, because maybe it'll book up like a few days in advance. So one opportunity would be optimizing your online presence. So COVID-19 the restrictions did drive a lot of customers online. So we did see a huge uptake in people updating their online presence, their social media channels, their website. A lot of businesses got into online purchasing, like their stores or online purchasing opportunities, as well as online booking. It's always been very popular, but we saw a huge uptick in people taking more advantage of that because they needed to. There's a lot more, you know, takeout delivery services, which is great as well. There's increased comfort searching, booking, and purchasing online. A little personal note, like thinking even about my own parents, you know, like the always not wanting to put their credit card online, but COVID, just the change and where it became more normalized, people are more interested in booking online and not having that fear. Online content is critical. It's not just what you offer, safety is important too. So when we work with businesses, it's helping them to communicate to guests why it's safe for them to travel. So as an example, if you were a boat tour company, like why it's safe to, you know, what they've put into place to make it easy for you to get on that boat and then be safe on the boat, and then everything's going to be sanitized afterwards. Or working with accommodations, the same idea. So it's changing that conversation on what pictures you showcase in your marketing material, how you plan out your package or experience, so how someone visits there, and then also, you know, maybe the cancellation policy as well, so people feel safe booking something that they're not going to get you know, charged 100% if they can't visit because of COVID. And then, as I mentioned before, leading with your strengths and differentiators. So just, you know, the one thing I really love about working in tourism in Nova Scotia is that we might be a small province, but every area from, you know, looking at Lunenburg to Sheet Harbor or Cape Breton to Yarmouth, everywhere has really unique local stories, really unique local flavors. So you might think, oh, we're just Nova Scotia, we all eat the same thing. No, there's always, as you drill down, there's always something super special about every little area, and it's working with businesses to find those unique differentiators and then using those to really set themselves apart from a business that might be a few kilometers down the road or across the province. So now I'm going to move it over to Melanie for our navigating tools and resources.
Thanks so much, Erin. So Erin talked a lot about the importance of, you know, being online and ensuring that visitors are able to find the information that is going to make them feel safe, and even something so simple as knowing when you're open and kind of what dates they can come and visit you. We're all turning online to our online channels to find that. I know sometimes it's come to a point now where I check Google business hours and just to see before I go, because there's been so many shifts in you know, when we can be open and the hours of that. So yeah, just ensuring that if you have something on offer, maybe it is also your hours of operation for your UPIC each year, the dates, letting people know good and early when that's coming up, and letting them know too when it is, can help them start to plan that into you know, their winter planning or their summer planning if they're coming in and flagging their tree in advance. So what we're going to look at now are some of the tools and resources that we have available. And we're also going to cover a little bit of what a package and an experience is, and how you can grow your online profile using our tools, and how you can kind of communicate with Tourism Nova Scotia if you're posting on social media, to, you know, let us know what you're doing. And hopefully we have some opportunities to help boost out, you know, your photos and your great experiences through our channels as well. So the first piece, or the first tool that we have, one that we're quite proud of on the experience development team, is our experience toolkit. So we redid this toolkit in 2019, right in time for COVID to arrive and shake things up just a little bit. But the learnings in this toolkit really do ring true for a number of things, whether we're in COVID or on the other side of it. There's a number of tip sheets and worksheets that you'll find here that will guide you all the way through, you know, setting business goals for yourself, determining what those differentiators are for your business. We have three main traveler segments that we've kind of focused on in Nova Scotia, because we know that they have the highest return on revenue, and the type of product and experiences that we offer here are very well aligned with the psychographics, or the things that really make these visitors tick, the things that they appreciate, the things that get them out of bed in the morning. So if you'd like to learn more about that, there's lots of information on Destination Canada's Explorer Quotient, which is where these traveler segments come from, in this toolkit. And you can learn about our three kind of traveler segments, which are the free spirits, cultural explorers, and authentic experiencers. So I'll plug those words in your mind, and you can even take a quiz to find out what type of traveler you are. So definitely check that out. We have experience development planning tools. So, you know, looking at the flow of things, and really just finding all of the opportunities where you can ensure your business has a presence, so that when people are looking, they're going to be able to find you. We've got some industry best practices in there, and then marketing and sales insights. You can find it at tourismns.ca/experience toolkit. There's even, you know, pricing tools in there. And just to give you a sneak peek, this is what some of those pages look like. It's divided up between 5 explainer videos to give you an idea of what you'll learn in each section. And then there's tip sheets and worksheets. So kind of introing a new idea or some information, and then a worksheet that can get you hands-on if you'd like to, you know, start forming out some ideas and seeing what a new experience could look like for your business. So some other resources that we have on tourismnovascotia.ca, or tourismns.ca rather. We have a very comprehensive COVID-19 update and resource list. I'm hoping that it's not as an important of a tool for us as we move into the spring and summer, and we don't have to keep turning back and, you know, looking for those funding programs and things that we need to have in place. We're hoping that we're, you know, opening further and further and living life. And so you can stop there and see kind of what the current state is, what the provincial guidance information is, and lots of good linking to those types of resources. We also have a number of business development guides available. So like Erin had mentioned before, our business development team helps guide new businesses, or, you know, established businesses if they're looking to kind of reach into another realm, like if you're looking to offer guided tours or something of that sort through your lot. And as Erin had also mentioned, everything we do is really focused on our research. So we have a number of market insights from our panelists. We've done research on cycling and culinary, and, you know, how visitors perceive Nova Scotia for those things, you know, how long do they cycle when they're here? How many people do indeed participate in eating lobster? We also have a visitor exit survey that takes place every 2 years. And I think there might have been a bit of a gap year in the thick of COVID, but we're going back out with that survey this year. So we'll have some new insights coming to really give us an idea of what things look like. And I'm curious myself, when we talk about the maritime traveler, which I'm sure a lot of our locals, our Nova Scotians, New Brunswick, PEI, those are the folks that you are seeing a lot of. And I'm curious to see if some of their behaviors shift after surviving, you know, last summer and maybe booking last minute and realizing that the things they want to do are sold out because everyone is close to home and traveling close to home. So, you know, I've got my research hat on, a little bit curious to see if some of that behavior switches and people start booking further out for things like that. We also have a digital asset library. So what this is a library of all of the photos that we have at Tourism Nova Scotia and video clips. All of those assets are in one place and they're available for free for tourism businesses or those working with tourism businesses for the purpose of promoting tourism to Nova Scotia, in Nova Scotia, for promoting your municipality, your region, all of those good things. So definitely have a look into that if you're looking to, you know, get some high quality assets to be able to promote your experience or your package or what you have offered on site. Maybe, you know, you're just outside of Lunenburg County and you want to encourage visitors to, you know, plan to choose you for to come and get a tree from you and to maybe have lunch or dinner in Lunenburg, and a really beautiful photo of Lunenburg could help you with, you know, posts on social media or on your website or something like that. So keep those in mind. And we also have a webinar series that kind of started at the beginning of COVID-19 to help businesses navigate the changing environment. And that it's blossomed into this beautiful series of expert panelists that we invite to come on, similar to this lunch talk, to provide advice and training on a variety of subjects, anything from, you know, strengthening your social media channels to having a strong cancellation policy, to finding your best visitors. So you can register for all of our upcoming webinars for free on tourismns.ca, or hop on there and view past previously recorded webinars too. So definitely check those out. But what we're here really to talk about today is the ways that you can leverage novascotia.com. So novascotia.com is our main call to action for visitors who are planning their trip to Nova Scotia. You know, going into COVID, I thought there's no way we're going to have, you know, still 3.5 million hits on this website. And we actually doubled that to 7 million, which, you know, I'm speculating on this, but I suspect that's a lot of our maritime travelers, our Nova Scotians, our New Brunswickers, PEI, realizing that this is such a wonderful resource for planning their visits to Nova Scotia too. And, you know, there's even more interest in Nova Scotia as a safe destination throughout the pandemic, and, you know, a great place to buy a house. So this website's become extremely popular. As mentioned, we see over 7 million hits each year now. So that's 7 million eyes. Well, 14 million eyes, maybe a few less if there's some unfortunate folks out there, but this is a great place to have your business profiled. So we'll get in a little bit to how you can do that, but to kind of get an understanding of the types of product that we list on novascotia.com, we're going to have a bit of a look at that now. So one thing we list are travel packages. And we define travel packages as a minimum of 2 tourism offerings. So maybe this is admission to a site and a guided tour, or this could be, you know, your tree and maybe lunch for the family at a nearby restaurant. Packages provide value to the visitor, and it's not always just a discount, but the convenience of having multiple elements in one price point. You know, sometimes you'll see folks that will say, well, if I book this all on my own, I'll save $6. And I always say to people, I will pay you $60 to only have to click one time, to make one call. There's a cost to convenience. So it might not be that you're discounting anything by working with a local partner to offer a package, but it might just be that it's motivating and easy for your visitor to say, well, no, we're going to go to this you pick because we're going to grab lunch at this awesome little restaurant that we heard about. They have this package. And yeah, so that's kind of how it blossoms. And even sometimes something like a package is a great piece that you can blast out on your social media and say, hey, look, I'm so-and-so you pick. I'm going to pick on Randy because I feel like there's a Randy's you pick somewhere out there near my home stomping ground. So we'll just use Randy as an example. I'm going to go to Randy's because he has this great package, or I saw this package with Randy's and I don't want to book it, but I saw this package at Randy's and I'm still going to go to Randy's. I don't need the lunch, but he's got this cool package that I saw. So it's something that you can use to kind of continue to, leverage and communicate the quality of experience or the quality of product that you offer, and to talk about your business in a different way. So when you're choosing activities to include in a package, a great place to look is your visitor. I heard from Jillian that, your visitors they like to hang around. They spend a lot of time on site. So the more time that you have that captive audience there, that's some opportunity to offer them some added value or some other ways to increase the revenue that you're bringing in by having them on site. And of course, you'll want those elements to align with your level of quality too. A lot of times, you're not going to pick the restaurant with the 1-star rating to send your visitors to, because you want them to have a great experience and to think, we had this, really awesome time. We walked through this beautiful site. We picked our tree. They done it up so nice, got it tied on our car, and now we're here for this delicious lunch versus, that was awful. So definitely make sure that you're partnering with people that, reflect your quality. And the visitors' values and expectations, keep those top of mind. When you're developing a new product, you got to think about the person that you want to purchase it, because that'll just make the sale a lot easier. Sometimes if you build it, they won't come, but if they wanted to come in the first place, or they're hanging around on your site, then if you build it, then maybe they've wanted that all along. When we talk about an experience, this is kind of an elevated version of a package. So when Erin and I work with businesses to create these experiences, we're looking for things that are unique and hands-on. And really, it's an opportunity for a visitor to learn something by doing something with someone who lives here. So, in your own stomping grounds, you are the expert. You're the expert of your woodlot. You're the expert of the trees that are grown there, of the species that you grow, as the balsam fir Christmas tree capital of the world in Lunenburg. That's a special thing to be. And I know a number of your lots and your operations are a family business. They go back generations, and you have a story to tell. And that's where an experience could become really cool, because people really do want to learn about you. They want to know that you've been doing this your whole life, or this was your father's operation. That how has life changed, and how have things changed in your area. And that's a story that you can really share with a visitor to help them connect with you, and just build that that emotional connection. So when we look at an experience, we're looking for things that are authentic. So those things that can't be replicated anywhere else. And, in New Brunswick and PEI, sure, there are lots of woodlots as well, and reasons that keep folks getting their trees there. But maybe there's an opportunity to really inspire someone to choose to come to Nova Scotia to get their tree here, because they're going to have this experience that's really different than what they can get in their home province, or you want to add a little bit of value there. Visitors are willing to pay a price for that. And sometimes when we think about like what value we're adding in, we often, we're humble folk. We forget that our story and our expertise and the connection that we make by really creating a special moment by taking someone in to get to select their tree, and that the entire process from wrapping to putting on the vehicle, they're there with you, connecting with you and learning your story. And there's a price tag that you can put on that, because it is unique and different than just picking any old run-of-the-mill tree from Bob down the street. So that's kind of when you look back to how can I differentiate this. If you've got a cool family story, then you're telling it for free, then maybe there's an opportunity to do some sort of guided, hike through the tree lot. Maybe it's an elevated version of just picking out your tree. And maybe it's not even winter at all or picking out your tree, but maybe you want to share your story because you have the most beautiful area that has some well-established trails. How can you, invite folks to come in and explore that? Maybe arrive with a picnic from a local partner, meet you, have a hike through your woodlot and learn about the area, learn about what makes, Nova Scotia so great for growing Christmas trees. And a mix of activities, of course, building on that package. Having it available at one price point is, convenient for the visitor, and just that one less stop for them to get to the point where they're, opening their wallet, they're putting in their credit card number, all of that good stuff. So here we have our lobster. We're looking at kind of how we take a product like a Christmas tree and turn that into an experience. So here we have our lobster fresh out of the water. It's on its way. It's a commodity right now. And then it becomes a delicious lobster dinner at a local restaurant. And now it's a product. But to build on this, we have experiences that, take visitors kayaking around some of the beautiful white sand beaches in the Lower South Shore area. And then they meet with a Parks Canada employee to learn a little bit about the coastal sea life, and turn around and wow, there's this beautiful picnic that's set up with a lobster roll. And they've had all of these additional elements added on to make this, a full-fledged experience out of this that's centered around the commodity being lobster. So curious, if you want to type some ideas into the chat, maybe you want to keep your ideas to yourself, because I know you're kind of hanging out with some other folks that are going to want to differentiate what they can offer too. But, what ideas do you have to take a balsam fir tree all the way through to an experience? And another type of listing that you can have on novascotia.com is an event listing. So this one is, I think, really important, as it's going to be the best entry point for a lot of you on the call and a lot of you that'll be watching this. We list events on novascotia.com for free as well, and all of these types of listings you can have for free on novascotia.com. There's no cost to come and hang out on our website. So with an event, this can be anything that is open to the general public, welcoming to visitors, and has the potential to attract visitors to Nova Scotia. Well, we wouldn't necessarily just list your hours of your U-Pick in the wintertime. If you're offering an elevated experience, maybe you have a wagon ride, maybe you have hot chocolate, maybe you have some local baked goods, maybe there's a bit of a guided experience to that, or you can help link folks up with some snowshoes or cross-country skis, or you can invite them to bring their own to explore your lot. If there's something that is above and beyond just your hours of when you can come and get a tree, then we want to know about it. We want to help you see if we can get an event listing up there that will just help to grow that profile. And when we look at novascotia.com too, and why it's so important these days to be online and to have high visibility for your product. When I hop on Google, and you know what, hope to God that this is the year I get a house so I can have a real tree again. You know, I might have to switch my loyalties to someone that's a little closer to wherever I end up living, and I'm going to Google, you pick Christmas trees, so what's going to come up? It'll be really helpful when you're able to link to strong established websites like novascotia.com, to Christmas Tree Council of Nova Scotia, to show off that you know, you're a member, you're taking these steps to you know, strengthen and grow your business in these ways. And all of those linkings will help Google understand that, you know, this visitor is looking for this certain thing, and it's got strong linking elsewhere. It's a good thing to serve up. So kind of thinking, I know, like, it's not that much fun sometimes to be doing all this back end computer stuff. I totally feel you. You might be the type of people that really just like to stay outside working with your hands, and that I can understand, but there's lots of value to spending some time on your online presence. You know, maybe working on your Facebook page, making sure that you're updating your hours of operation, and communicating with your loyal customers or potential visitors what you have going on. You know, sharing some insights throughout the year that's going to give them an idea of, and help build that connection with you too throughout the year. Like if you're out surveying, if you're, you know, doing the general things you need to do throughout the year, let them know, take some cool pictures, and we'll get into it a little bit further on, but, you know, hashtag visit Nova Scotia, and it might be an opportunity for us to share out your photos as well. So when we list packages, experiences, and events on novascotia.com, they are listed currently through our partner portal. One listing type we didn't really touch on is our business listing. So we do also list tourism businesses on novascotia.com, including attractions, and there is an eligibility criteria to be there. And some of you may very well be qualified for that, but a number of operations likely wouldn't be. So we don't want to spend too much time digging deep into that, but that's something that we can work on with you one-on-one. And I'll get a little more into who you can reach out to in a moment, because we'd love to invite you all, you know, to reach out to us. And if you're curious, we're curious, and we'd love to explore what options there might be for you. So our partner portal tool, like I said, you can sign up for this at any point if you're looking to list a package, experience, and event. There are some eligibility for listing packages, experiences, and events. The events being kind of the lowest barrier to entry, if you will. So that's why we're thinking that that's going to be one of the best opportunities for you to consider as we're going into the summer. But of course, if anyone's feeling brave and is looking to maybe develop a package or an experience, then we are all over that, and we definitely want to hear from you. So the links there of where you can go, but I really encourage your first step to be determining who to reach out to on our team, myself, Erin, or our other two colleagues. So maybe I'll just keep on going so you can find that info. So when you're, you know, setting up that online profile, when you're trying to communicate to visitors that you have a unique experience on site, that you have a package or an experience, then you'll grow your listings on novascotia.com. But there are other places that it's really important to have up-to-date information, to have ways that visitors can contact you, and to be monitoring that as well. There's nothing like the person that has a bad experience on site and they're on social media just ripping on your business. It's good to be there and be aware, and there are ways that, you know, you can help to diffuse those types of situations and turn it into a really positive moment to showcase your business. So maybe it's that you've made it onto TripAdvisor. It's always good to see if you have a TripAdvisor listing, or if you're qualified for one, maybe own it for yourself and help to share some information out through there with Instagram and Facebook and other, you know, social media channels like that. definitely consider which ones are working well for you. You don't need to be listed on every single social media account because it can get overwhelming. But there are also tools that if you want to be, tools like Hootsuite that can help you manage all of those social channels from one platform. But the big two being Facebook and Instagram, they're very visually like photo based. People are really, they're scanning, they're using their eyes. People don't read as well as they used to. So, we've got some tips in our experience toolkit, of course, on ways that you can help engage with visitors through this word of mouth, social media type marketing world. And we know that now through research that social media and that word of mouth marketing really is the most trusted form of marketing. So if you're sharing something through your social channels or through your business channels on social media, those, your fans, your loyal followers, like those are really your best advocates to help spread the word and pull in trusting sources that are going to want to check your business out. The other thing, if you have on Google, if you Google your business, Randy's U-Pick, if something comes up on the side with, hours of operation, things like that, or even if it doesn't, you can have your Google business listing as well. So that's a good thing to make sure that you own, so that you can quickly, manage reviews and comments and update your hours of operation quickly and timely. So check that out too. And of course, in our Nova Scotia Experience Toolkit, we have some insights on that and how you can go about that too. So as mentioned, I kind of already did this slide, but word of mouth and social media really is that most influential and trusted form of marketing. Even if they're not friends that we've known in person, we tend to trust the ideas and thoughts and recommendations of the people that we're following on social media. So it's a great place to be. Really turn your neighbors and visitors into your best advocates. So encourage them if they're taking really cool family shots, like maybe if you're on Instagram, you can encourage them to say, use hashtag Randy's NS and share your photos so, we can see what great shots you captured getting your Christmas tree today. And that gives you an opportunity to then say, we loved your family photo. Would it be okay if we shared this out? And then you're generating some kind of user generated content, if you will, some photos that you can pull on to say, look how happy this family was here. You'd be happy bringing your family here too. And then of course, engage with your visitors. So if someone's commenting on your posts, if someone's, if you're booking someone on a package, kind of keep that line. So, with more traditional tourism businesses, it might be an accommodation that you've booked, and we encourage them to reach out and say, we can't wait to welcome you. And then when they're there, to build that connection, and after send a follow-up and say, we hope you really enjoyed. So things to consider if you're developing an elevated product and an opportunity, like if somebody comments and gives you a review saying, wow, we had this awesome time, like what a beautiful place, they were so kind, or we love our tree, whatever it is, just tell them thanks. Like just reach back and say, thanks for your review, and keep building that relationship. So you can create kind of a hashtag for yourself on Instagram, have a look and see if it's something that's already taken, or if it may be something that you can use. And as you encourage more and more people to use that hashtag, and you can even put that kind of in your little profile information, then it'll just keep kind of a collection of photos that someone might click on and say, okay, well, we're going to Randy's for the first time. We've never gotten a tree from them before. Then they'll click onto this hashtag and see all these awesome photos of everyone else having a good time. And then, of course, you can use our hashtag too if you're posting on social media to let us know what you're up to and share your beautiful photos. And yeah. So I guess the biggest message about packages and experiences is they're not going to be for everyone's business level. Maybe an event is going to be the best, entry point for your business to start growing your agritourism offering. We have a strong suspicion that many of you are actually already offering a number of agritourism initiatives that, we just need to get the profile, to tighten it up and to get that in front of more visitors. But just remember, these things don't need to be complex. The biggest thing is just making sure that they're well planned and well promoted, and that, you know, people can find what you have on offer, because that can really make the big difference. These are some links that that you can check out. So our corporate website, where most of our industry resources are, is tourismns.ca. You can also sign up for our In Touch newsletter, which comes out, I think, bi-weekly, and we'll kind of share, you know, updates in the industry. Maybe there's no programs, resources. So definitely sign up for that. We also have a Twitter account for our corporate channels and LinkedIn. And I'll chat a little bit about mine and Erin's team, being the experience development team. We have 4 tourism development advisors that are working across all regions of Nova Scotia. I work with the Halifax and Yarmouth and Acadian Shores regions. Erin works with Eastern and South Shore regions. Our colleague Judy is working with Cape Breton and the Annapolis Valley and kind of lower Bay of Fundy area. Catherine is working with Northumberland Shore and Cliffs of Fundy Geopark in that kind of upper Bay of Fundy area. So get in touch, jot down our information, and this will be available to you as well following the presentation. But don't be afraid just to reach out and say, you know, I've got a Christmas tree lot and this is what I'm doing, and this is what I'd like to do, or, you know, what could I do? And we'll do a little kind of I guess a spitballing of ideas here in a moment to kind of get the creative juices flowing, and we'd really like to hear from you. The other resource that's there is the Nova Scotia Business Navigators, which we lean on a lot. They're a wonderful group. So say you want to start offering guided hikes through your tree lot, or you want to open that up so visitors can bring their snowshoes and their cross-country skis, then they'll be able to tell you, know, what type of license do you need, or permit, sorry, do you need to have insurance, and what does that insurance look like, to make sure that, you know, you're operating safely and legally and all of that good stuff. So that's kind of the end of this this presentation, but you know, just to throw out some ideas, get the juices flowing. I'm guessing that a few of you might offer, you know, wreath making workshops or centerpiece making workshops. You may offer a number of products beyond just your trees. So those are the types of things we want to hear about. You know, if you're having a number of wreath making workshops, well, then let's get you set up with an event. You know, can visitors bring their snowshoes or their cross-country skis and tour around your multiple acre properties and just see how cool all the trees look lined up there and growing at the same rate in certain areas, and, you know, see the maturities of you know, what trees are going to be ready for next year, where the baby trees are. You know, can you partner with a local restaurant, someone that's just down the street, to say, offer a picnic? So maybe if visitors are hanging out, all of the family, they seem to have booked all together on the same day so they can all get their trees and, you know, make this a family experience. Can you offer some sort of package or picnic where they can pick up their food and then come to you, have that little like tailgate and nosh fest, and then go get their tree? Or maybe it's that they get their tree and there's a gift card for you know, a family lunch included at that restaurant. So another thing to kind of consider is, you know, do what you do best and partner for the rest. Some other ideas we thought about is, you know, do you have a hill on site that's awesome for sledding? Well, let people know about that so they can, you know, bring their GTs and their crazy carpets or whatever people are sliding on these days. It's been a bit since I've sledded, but you know, kind of create that idea for families. Or, you know, I think a lot of you are offering hot chocolate and sleigh rides. And we can definitely help kind of promote the fact that you're doing something different and grow from there. So I'm going to cut myself off because I will just keep going with ideas until dinner time, and then this will become a dinner time session. But I hope you enjoyed kind of a bite of the information that we've shared today, and we really would love to hear from you. And even if you're kind of like, I don't think this is anything at all, still reach out. It could be. So I'm going to turn it back over to Jillian there, and we'll check the chat and see kind of if we've got any questions, or feel free to put your hand up if you do want to share an idea.
Yeah, I did have one question in the chat, and I think it was earlier when you were talking about added value and that sort of thing. So Sherman asked, how do you let visitors or customers know and encourage that you're open to tipping? And he has in brackets 1 price point. Do you have any feedback for that?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's lots of ways that you can kind of gently include that information, especially if you have a listing of something like you have an elevated experience. So we could list your UCut hours and talk about that you offer hot chocolate or whatever it is that makes it, more or different than the usual experience. And, there's no shame in putting a little plug in there that, our trees are average this cost to this cost, and we love, feel free to include a little tip, or we can definitely include that type of messaging. Yeah, it's something I usually think about, how to present it in a way that doesn't feel like we're asking for the tip, but just reminding them that you work hard and you go the extra mile for visitors, and it feels good when you get a little tip.
Awesome. And oh yes, you probably see one there from Jenna too.
Gotcha. Yeah. So Jenna, that's a great point. If skiing isn't the best thing to do in your main selling season, totally makes sense. But thinking of the ways that you can invite visitors to your site all year round through all seasons. Maybe skiing on site is an off-peak opportunity for you, and maybe in the summertime, it's a great place to hike. And maybe there's a great way to have a hike and picnic package that's going to give you, a donation back to the woodlot, could be included in that package price, because there are costs to managing, and there are costs to you to ensuring that that's a safe space for people to go and hike. So we work with lots of folks and encourage them to partner. Maybe it's with a local organization or yourself, like maybe it's with the Nova Scotia Nature Trust, or trying to think of the great folks in Seaforth there. Hope for Wildlife. Maybe in your package, there's a few dollars that goes back to Hope for Wildlife. That's, more or less, it's a selling point, because people want to be good global citizens and they want to be responsible. So, even including something like that, whether it's a donation to your woodlot to, cover some of the costs of the management of opening your site up for visitors year round. Those are things we can absolutely chat about in package and experience development.
Sorry, just to add to Mel's point there about costing, I do see a question was raised there about how a lot of what you offer is free, but then the costs do grow when you start throwing in these other elements. And that is for 100%. Like, I know Melanie touched on it briefly in her presentation. We're Nova Scotians, we're kind, we're friendly, and we love saying, like, come over to my place, and we love giving out free things. It's kind of our nature in how we be hospitable. But we do, as part of our toolkit, we do have a very helpful, useful spreadsheet that breaks down the cost of everything. I know I don't like math, and I find the spreadsheet is awesome because every field says why you put a number in there. So as a business, it allows you to take that spreadsheet. It can get into a huge package or get into a very simple package. You take it, you plug in all the costs that would be associated to providing your package or your visit that would include hot chocolate or sleigh ride or what have you, and then it spits out an end price. And then you as a business can look at that price and be like, whoa, that seems awfully low, or whoa, that seems awfully high. And then you can go back and reevaluate what you've plugged into the spreadsheet. So it's a very useful thing, a useful place to get started. And then as Mel had mentioned too, I mean, a lot of the things we do, we don't always apply value to. So, having that exclusive access to the area that isn't normally open to visitors, or having that, 4-generation storyteller who's then, bringing you in and explaining something that you otherwise wouldn't have known about the tree lot, that's all added value. So as a business, you'd have to decide, You know, having Gary talk about how his great-great-grandfather harvested trees here, you know, for hundreds of years, like, is that worth $30 extra? Is it worth $20 extra? Like, you have to sort of apply cost to some of those things, which can take a little bit of practice, but it allows you to charge for things, to have something that can be promoted, have something that have value for a visitor, and then also has something that's of value to you, and it helps you turn a profit for these offering these added value items, because it isn't necessarily easy. You know, it can be easier just to give it all away for free, but we want to see more business. And then also the opportunity to, we have a lot of tourism product that's available up until, say, the middle to end of October. Our website's huge, full of all things to do. But then come that mid-October, you see a lot of our packages, experiences, a lot of those unique product, it all expires, because then we have a lot of businesses that are then closing or slowing down for the more shoulder or winter seasons. So that's where it could be your guys' time to shine, to showcase that winter product. Or if there isn't any snow, we still have stories that can be told in the shoulder season. You know, you guys aren't relying on beautiful green foliage because your beautiful trees are green all year round. So maybe you sometimes the fun thing about experiences is you can take something that might seem like a negative and then spin it around to make it a positive. You know, so maybe it's easier to walk through the field when the grass isn't all lush and tall. You know, you're able to showcase these beautiful trees, and maybe there's a little trail that goes down by the water. That you can include a little picnic snack when you're down there. Yeah, so it's just opportunity.
And just one more little point before we'll try to slow her down, see if there's any more questions. Thinking about packages and experience and developing these types of things, you can really tier what you deliver to visitors. So if you are offering wagon rides and hot chocolate, it's okay if that then becomes the elevated experience, and folks can still come and get a tree from you, and they may still want to just come and get a tree from you. So if you're kind of looking at, you know, what can we offer, you can offer, like, you know, number one being, I'm just going to come and get my tree and I'm going to have a good time and I'm going to go home, and that's me. Number two, you could have that kind of the family experience, the wagon ride, the hot chocolate. And you could even have an elevated experience even beyond that, where you might have maybe a staycation package to encourage people to come and get, you know, your trees are the best. You have this awesome wagon ride, you have this local hot chocolate, and it's a staycation. And now you've partnered with an accommodation operator that will say, you know, coming to get your tree with your family, well, book a staycation with us. And that's, you know, the top tier kind of thing that you could deliver on. But, you know, you may know the coolest little Airbnb and be able to offer some leading up to Christmas kind of experiences. Who knows, kind of the friends and partners that you have in your corners. But we'd love to hear about them and spitball ideas with you. And yeah, you can kind of go as little or as much as you want in on the experience development side, and we'll help coach all along the way.
Yeah, thank you so much, Melanie and Erin. That was a great presentation, and I completely agree. Like, that online presence is everything nowadays. That's where people are looking to find their products, especially their local products and all that. I know there's tons and tons of different types of features that are on our folks' Christmas tree lots. I know some have sleigh rides and trails, and there's endless amount of opportunities with this sort of thing. So yeah, thank you guys again. This is a huge asset to the industry, and it's a great opportunity for growers, especially since you said your website with their events and those kinds of packages drop off in October. That's when we start picking up. So yeah, we'll definitely use this as an asset for our growers. If anybody else has any questions, it is a little past 1 right now, so we'll wrap up soon. But if there's any more questions, you can drop them in the chat or just unmute yourself. Otherwise, we'll call it a day here.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having us. And like I said, don't be a stranger. We'd love to hear from you all.
Great. Awesome. Okay. Well, you guys have a great day, and we'll chat later, and we'll see you for
Sounds
another
good.
lunch break session.
All right. Take care.
Talk to you.